Words shape a child's identity. Labels like lazy, naughty, weak, or even perfect can deeply influence a child's performance, behavior, and the future growth. So today we are going to talk about how labeling and tagging impacts the tiny souls. Join me in welcoming our speaker, Filza Jabin, an author, international teen leadership coach, ADHD specialist, and parenting mentor dedicated to transforming the lives of families worldwide. A proud daughter, wife, and mother of three beautiful children, Filza brings both professional expertise and personal experience to her mission of empowering parents and young minds. With a master's degree in psychology and a diploma in child psychology, play therapy, addictive brain studies, and psychological perspectives on current educational challenges, she has devoted her life to deep understanding of child behavior and development. Through her work, Filza supports parents in overcoming the everyday challenges of raising children by providing practical strategies, compassionate guidance, and effective solutions to build happy, healthy, and harmonious families. Her passion for continuous learning and personal growth has made her trusted voice in parenting, ADHD coaching, and leadership coaching. So let's get started. Over to you, Filza ma'am. All the best.
Thank you, Neeta. Thank you so much for such a warm welcome. I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for each one of you here. Thank you, Manish sir, for providing us this opportunity. This is my last time I said it was my third year, but this is my fourth year of Carnival of Hope Season 6. This is where we meet every year, and all the coaches are delivering their knowledge and wisdom here. They are giving everything for free for 40 days, full 40 days here. So I highly encourage all of you to join. Each and every program is full of knowledge, and it's going to support you and your family, and it will help you in raising your child best. Okay, so without wasting a second, let me begin my workshop or seminar today. I am Filza Jabin. I'm here to help you understand what's the impact of tagging and labeling. So use your fingers while you are here. Don't sit idle. Make it interesting for you, right? Okay, and wait for like till the end to ask any question, and there will be a lot of free gifts for you when you will stay till the end. Okay, so my first question here: how many of you have experienced in your childhood tagging and labeling from your parents? Write M in the chat box if you have been tagged or labeled by your parents. Yes, definitely. There won't be any maybe here. All of us have faced this. 100% time. 100% of the people, right? And why? What was the reason behind it? Have you ever thought about it? Why people suddenly started talking that we should not label our children, we should not tag them with any label? Why this is happening? Do you have any idea about it? We'll discover today. We'll understand why I'm saying this and why people are creating an awareness around when you are raising your children, and why it is important not to tag them, not to label them. Though we have been labeled, right? Sometimes it worked as an encourager, which encouraged us. Sometimes it was discouraging us. Sometimes it was creating a safe space for us to just sit down and hide behind, right? Okay, do you agree to this? Let me share my screen. I would like to show you something, and I want all of you present here, 23 people here, to give a tag to this video, this particular video.
Duduk sana, duduk.
Can you mute? Can you all tag this video? These children, what will you tag? What are you giving? Naughty? Yes. Neeta gave naughty. What else? Playing. What else? As they want, crazy. They're playing with a snake. Adventurous. Yes. Innocent. They don't know that the snake is dangerous, right? Joyful, unaware of danger, fearless. Yes, yes, amazing. And let me tell you, you all are correct. When we are tagging based on our belief and knowledge, based on what we believe about the scenario, unaware of what snake does. Yes, absolutely. We believe and then we say something. Most of the time it is reflexly coming out. Reflexly it is coming out of my mouth. My child is naughty. My child is not sitting in a place. We were not aware of what we are doing. Just like our parents were not aware why they were tagging their children. What's the impact going to happen? But now, these days, research are happening and people are understanding the depth of it. Why we should do what we are doing and why we should not tag. Right? Then how can we encourage our children? Do you get this question in your mind? How can we encourage our children then? Like, if my child is good in sports, how will I encourage my child to be more good or best in sports? How am I going to do that? Because I knew that tagging is the best way of telling them, right? You are very sporty, you are very good, you are very creative, right? What do you want to say? Am I correct? Whatever we are tagging, every one of you who gave the tag to those children, you believe and in the picture and you gave the word. It's based on your knowledge and belief, right? And you tag them. Majority of time I have seen parents tagging their children willfully. Willfully. Even after this much awareness, willfully tagging them. Let's understand why. So let me share my screen so that we can move forward. Give me a minute. Okay. The power of word. Your words are shaping my personality. This is what I've written. I just wrote before coming to this webinar. Your words are shaping my personality. Who's saying this? Who's saying this? First, our children is saying this. Our children is trying to communicate through this, right? Yes, the child. Thank you, Vishali, for responding. I love the responses. And if you all want to learn more and more, please keep your fingers active. Let's move forward and understand more about it. Labels are more than just words. When we are saying something, we are saying something deep. We are penetrating something deep inside our children's mind and brain. Right? When a child is going to a doctor is saying, prescribing something and saying something. This happens with me a lot. When a child is coming and their parents are talking about their condition, they're listening everything and they're forming their own belief because they are in their early childhood and they are forming their belief about themselves. And with that, what is happening? They are carrying that. What I have experienced, when parents are talking about their condition, they're very much neutral. The child is very much neutral. And then they are not understanding the real meaning of ADHD or autism or learning disabilities. They are not understanding anything or whatever their parents are saying. They are not understanding about that exact word. They are very much neutral. I've experienced that. The expression is very much neutral. One day my son came and told me, this is my younger son, he came and he told me that one of my friend asked me to go and tell teacher something. When I told him, when my son told him, why don't you go and talk to teacher? He said, I can't go and talk to my teacher because I have ADHD. Because we are talking about ADHD at home, so he knew that. That's why he came and he was very curious about it. Why my friend said this? He is very much normal. He talks with me, he plays with me, he can do a lot of things. He is very smart, but why is he unable to go and talk to teacher? Can ADHD people talk to their teachers? I said, yes, of course. Your friend, when your friend can talk to you and explain about his condition, so he is using that as a shield. I don't want to go and be in that situation. I want to hide behind. Right? Do you all agree to this? Right? Why in the chat box if you all agree to this? Okay? Generally what we tag, my shy child, this child is bossy, the smart one, the creative one, the sporty one. Right? These are the tags which we give to our children, and there are heavier tags which can impact the whole life. When they are tagged with a condition, they don't know what is that condition, and the explanation they are getting through their parents. They're understanding deeply about it, right, through their parents, and then they are creating that box where they don't want to come out of it. Their behaviors are being shaped, right? Their opportunities are missing. Their developmental age is passing. How much I am saying here, it's just touching the surface. You all need to understand more about it, the tagging and the labeling, the labels and the tags which we use. It's not about just the shy one, the bossy one, the smart one, or the sporty child. It's not only up till that. It's more to that. Parents are doing it sometime willfully. Why parents are doing it willfully? Any answer? Any answer here? Write in the chat box if you have any answer to this. Right? And most of the time parents are unaware of the consequences. Consequences is neutral, it's not positive or negative. Passing the phase, yes. Yes, passing the phase, maybe. They don't want to face the phase, right? And why? Why is that? I, as a parent, मैंने सुना तुम भी सुनो. Yes, maybe parents are not aware. But I am, as a parent, when I am telling someone that my child has this condition, I have a reason. And I want to advocate here to all the parents. I want to advocate. Right? तुम अगले को सुनाओ. Yes. Shoma is making this interesting. Right? So, as a parent, I am doing this consciously. Why am I doing this? I am being judged. I'm being judged. I want to hide behind. I want to show everyone why my child's handwriting is so messy. Don't call him messy. He has this condition. Give him the safe space. Whenever I go to parents-teacher meeting, I'm hearing a lot from teachers. Right? And how can I make that teacher understand that he's just a child and everyone is different? Why can't you just stop doing this? Let me stop share so that my hand which is raised, I can stop this. Sorry for the interruption. Let's share again. Okay? Do you all agree to this? Have you ever faced it? Because I want to create that safe space for myself and my child so that my child can get a small space in the classroom. Right? And what's the negative impact of it, which parents are not aware of it? They have been segregated. First by their friends, then by their teachers, and then the child themselves. They are in the box. I have ADHD, I can roam about. This is very common. This is very common. I have ADHD, I can roam about. I can eat the tiffin in the middle of the class. This is very common. If any teacher is there, if you agree, write Y in the chat box. Right? Let's move forward. Yes, absolutely. Friends and employees, everyone. Everyone is judging us, so we want to create that safe space for ourselves and for our children. That's why we want to tell them. And our children is listening. Your words are shaping my personality, right? Our brain is naturally categorizing information to simplify our life. Our brain is seeking one thing, permanent solution. Permanent solution. In this temporary world, we all are seeking this permanent solution. So are children. They are also seeking those permanent solution, right? They're simplifying their life. They want that comfort zone so that they can relax, right? Being an ADHD, people are not saying anything to me, right? So we need to understand why this is happening. And if a parent is doing it, most of the time, it's my experience that parents are getting judged. And it's reflective. In this era, I'm not talking about the past era, what the trauma which we are carrying, that my parent called me this or that. Come back, it is gone. Let's be aware of ourselves. Let me be aware of myself. What am I doing? I'm conscious. I know I'm doing these work. I know about the consequences, positive pros and cons of what I am doing and behaving. Still, I am doing. I choose to do it. Right? Sometimes parents are seeking some help. Seeking some help also. Like maybe teachers and friends and family can give some help to my child. Okay? Can also have that emotion, the emotion which I am having, they can also have that emotion. Right? Do you all agree to this? Let's move forward. Let's move forward and understand more. When we are tagging our children, they're silently talking to themselves inside their brain. And it is going to impact in their development. They all are listening. Each and every words are shaping their personality throughout their life. And this is the time why I want to create awareness around this, because this is their time to learn and grow. Majority of the brain part is being developed by early childhood and the later early childhood, which is still 12 years. So if we will utilize this time, then we can help our children grow out of their condition and learn a lot of things. We might say that my child is very good at something, right? Like my son is very good at playing guitar. He's very good at playing guitar. That doesn't mean that I need to compromise on his academics and just make him play guitar and ask him to choose the career in guitar. Right? Yes, Shoma, thank you for responding. I'm really grateful for each one of you who are participating, because it's about you. If you are participating about you. Because of you, for you. Okay? When we are labeling them, they are carrying that weight and they are trying to be that exact person throughout their life. Without even understanding what are the consequences they might face when they are grown up, when they are adult, without even understanding that, right? So as a parent, as a caregiver, what we need to do? When I am conscious, what am I supposed to do to practice something which is going to help my child in growing best. Stay tuned, you will understand that. You will understand that. Don't worry, you're going to get a lot of ideas. Right? Let's move forward. When we give a label to the child, a child is carrying that label and they try to hold that label throughout their life. They try to be that, as I said. They miss the opportunity. They don't want to try new things. If a child is said that you are bad or you are very naughty, they will be that. They will be that. What do they need? They need a proper guidance. Instead of that tagging, they need a proper guidance. And how will we guide if we are not regulated? Because we are co-regulating our children through our behaviors. I have experienced many parents who are not regulated themselves. They are unable to regulate their children. And it's happening with me also. I'm not out of it. I have not grown out of it. All my 3 children are bringing different situations in my life. And sometimes it is creating a lot of pressure on me. What are the tools and strategies I'm using in the moment so that I can respond, not react? When I'm not taking care of myself, I am telling something which I'm not supposed to. You're very naughty. You always disturb me. Whenever I come and cook in the kitchen, you're at my back. Right? So we need to regulate ourselves. We need to regulate ourselves in order to give what we want to pass on to our children, what we want to make them. My 3 kids are totally different from each other, and I say that to all the parents. They are totally different, but the routine and expectations are exactly same. No comparison. Why can't I dream about my child? Why can't I just make him practice? One of my child can perform one task in 10 minutes, and another child, same task, he will take half an hour to perform. I am ready to wait for him. Are you ready? Are you ready, parents? Are you ready to wait for your child so that he can learn, that he can complete that task? Thank you, Vaishali. Thank you for responding. Thank you, Pushpa. Thank you for responding. Yes. If I am not ready to wait for my child, thank you, Mubashira. I can see you. Thank you so much for responding. And I want all of you to respond. This is for you. Ask yourself this question. Am I going to wait for my other child for extra time? Yes. I can, because this is my opportunity to teach them. This is my opportunity to help them. That's why I never compare my children. I never discuss their results at home. Nobody knows what was my elder son's board's result. He passed his class 10 and nobody knows. Nobody got sweets also. My money is saved. The agenda behind it was something different, right? Do you trust me, Vaishali? Vaishali is laughing. That was not because of I wanted to save money. That was because I had an agenda behind it. I had a reason behind it. Thank you, Geeta. Thank you. I had a reason behind it. What was the reason behind me not discussing my son's board's result? I don't want to tag him from a good performer or a bad performer. Not only for my elder son, but for my younger son, my daughter, and children around me. Children around me, everyone. They need to breathe. They need to breathe. This is just a foundation steps they are stepping on. And they just need to cross it. They just need to cross it. My son asked me why this board's exam is creating so much of pressure on each one of us. Even though they are not going to use this marks, they are going to use class 12th marks. Why they are using this so much? Why they are creating that Have you ever heard about this word? This is the iron gate, first iron gate of your life. Have you ever heard about it? We were told like that. Class 10th exam is the heaviest, but it was really light for my son. He was fasting when he went for his exam, because that was Ramadan season last year. He was fasting while he was giving his exam. He was light. He was completely okay with it. Thank you, Afrin, for responding. So we must bring ourselves into consciousness. Every passing day, whenever I'm talking to any one of you, anyone out there in the world, I ask you to be conscious about the steps you are taking, because your children is watching you and they are the one who is going to carry this to the next generation. So silently and loudly sometime, we are shaping the generation. We are shaping next generation. It's up to us. So let's move forward and understand more. Have you ever heard the word, you are a good girl, you are a good performer? Last time when I presented the case of depression, the girl who did not appear for NEET exam, because in the first year she got 500 and above marks and everybody started expecting her. She herself told me that everyone is telling me that this time, if you in the first year, if you can get 500, next time definitely you will crack NEET. So that was talking. A good student tag which she was carrying, which was shutting herself down. And what was happening? Let me help you all understand this. This is our brain. This is the front part of our brain. Imagine this is the stem brain, right? When we are putting a lot of pressure, when we are putting ourselves into stress, our front part of the brain, which is still developing till 25 to 27 years, shuts down. And we start reacting from the reflex brain. Right? It shuts down completely. The processing of information is shutting down. And what happens when our processing of information is shut down? What's happening then? Any answer? Any clue? What's happening when our information is shut down, our brain is shut down and unable to process the information? Zone out. Yes, zone out. What else? We zone out. Okay, let me tell you what happens. We cannot measure the consequences. We cannot see the depth of the positivity of it and the negativity of it. The measurement which the brain is helping. This is the brain which is differentiating us from animals, most of the animals. Humankind has this logical brain which is called frontal lobe. It is helping us process the information. So those children who are still developing, they shut down. And when they shut down, they are unable to respond. They are reacting. They are rebelling. Right? So this tag of positive label always made me cook in the kitchen. You are a very good cook. Seriously, I'm in the kitchen. You cook very nice dosa, and I am after dosa whole my life. What about my creativity? Like, I got this tag and I was so happy. And then I decided, I'm talking about myself and it's an honest story here. I decided that I'll spend my life feeding everyone. You go and ask my neighbors, they are very happy seeing my face because their mouth is watering because I cook a lot. I serve them with food. I never studied in my childhood. Since class 6, I'm cooking. You name any dish, I'm cooking. Because I always got that praise which my brain was craving. An ADHD brain is always craving that acknowledgement. They get bored very fast. They need that praises, acknowledgement, so that they can release some happy hormone. right? So when we are tagging our children, we are doing a lot of things to them. We are shaping their personality. We are telling that who they can be in their future, right? So I highly encourage all of you again and again, be conscious before you tag or label your child. See what you are raising, see what you are passing on. Okay? And I was always avoiding the challenges of academics. I was failing. I thought books are not made for me because I don't want to go there. I don't want to open the book at all because I can. Because I can. Nobody can make me. This is what happening with other children. What suddenly happened that I started liking reading and learning things, right? I started getting those skills and understanding the consequences. Consequences is neutral. It's not wrong, right? Right or wrong. It's just the result of what we do today. The consequences of learning and spreading the knowledge and being a knowledgeable one in this world. So if you want your child to be something, you have to do something. What do you need to do then? Why, this lady is stopping everything. She is stopping me from tagging my child. She is stopping me from labeling my child. Not even the good one. Why is she stopping me so much? Is it creating that pressure in your mind? Right? Because even I think sometimes how to raise my children so that I can raise a confident and self-regulating children. Right? So that I don't need to tell them, wake up, you need to exercise. Wake up, you have class. Wake up, you go and make your bed and go to school. We all want that. We have that dream, like dream come true. Children are waking up on their own and getting ready and doing their exercise and cleaning their room before going to school. All those things are dream come true, right? Everyone is smiling. Right, Neeta? Geeta is also smiling. Thank you for responding. That really encourages me. Label is changing our behavior also as a parent, right? I have experienced this. If a doctor or teacher or psychologist is giving that label to us, if teacher is telling that your child is very naughty, he makes all the noise in the class, and we say, okay, kab tak rokenge? We can't. We start avoiding. And what are we avoiding? We are avoiding the opportunity to teach them, to train them so that they can be world ready, so that they can sit with their friends and study and learn and understand what teachers are teaching. We might overlook their need. When my child is very good at something, and I can say, okay, this child is very good in cleaning the house, so I'm always giving the opportunity to the same child. So you go clean the house all the time, right? So this is happening, and we are stealing the opportunity from that child to maybe do something else also, some creativity, something else, anything in the kitchen or any other organizing work or something. We are stealing the opportunity from them. And it's our conditionality. It's our conditionality. And that's conditioning is, and again I want to advocate for parents. They are highly judged people. Not only mothers don't get that emotion she's talking about me. I'm talking even about fathers. Right? I'm also talking about fathers because parents themselves are getting judged about their children's behavior. They're getting judged everywhere. The new generation is deciding no more children. Right? Easy way out. We need to understand that if we regulate ourselves and if we create that awareness in ourselves, what we are doing, why we are doing, the why question is very important, then it is going to help our children, help the society, help everyone around us. right? Thank you, Shoma, thank you for responding, and thank you everyone. Now what should we do instead? This is a big question, right? Do you have this question in your mind? Write in the chat box. Thank you, Pushpa, thank you for responding. What should we do instead? We should acknowledge their behavior. We should acknowledge their behavior. There's a difference between labeling and acknowledging their behavior. If my son is coming with a good marks, you are a very good boy, you are a good performer, you always score good, you were scoring good since your childhood. What are all these? Labeling or acknowledging? What is it? Is it labeling or acknowledging? Am I acknowledging my child or labeling? Labels. Yes, labels. Then how will I acknowledge then? How will I acknowledge then? Thank you, Sophia. Thank you for responding. We need to acknowledge. And why should we acknowledge what they did? Because they are in trial and error mode. They are always trying new things and coming and seeking that validation from whom? From parents, from me. They're trying, okay, I'm getting the validation, then this is good, I'm going to continue with this. They don't understand the difference between right and wrong. They are just trying new things. Sometimes they even try very nasty things, and they'll come and they'll see your reaction. How are you reacting? How are you behaving? Are you screaming or not? Have you ever experienced a child throwing everything outside the window? Everything outside the window, whatever it is. They want to see your reaction, and when they get that attention, they'll keep throwing it. They'll keep throwing it because they like you reacting on that. Right? So we need to acknowledge instead of labeling. So labeling is focusing on the person, it's on their identity. Sometimes it sounds like criticism. If I am a good student, I must be a good student whole my life. If I'm scoring 97%, then also I'm in the judgment mode. What if I will not get this 97% next time? I'm a good student. If I am a good sports person, then I need to be a good sports person whole my life. Have you ever experienced Sachin Tendulkar clean bowled in the first ball? Have you ever heard about it? Yes, many times, right? It can happen, right? Though he was a very good batsman, still he was clean bowled in few balls only. It can happen. We all are humans. And when we create that empathy, okay, sounds like you're very excited about your result. What's your next plan? What are you going to do next? And who can say this? Am I going to say this when I'm cooking 20 rotis in a row, sweating in the kitchen? Is it possible? Not in that moment, but maybe after that, when I'm regulating myself, when I'm taking care of myself, making those rotis is fun for me sometime because I'm already regulated. I've done my exercise, I've done my meditation, I've taken care of my clients, I've taken care of my family. Those making roti is also easy because most of the time my 3 children, they come when I'm cooking because they see me alone over there. And they see me happy. Most of the time I'm singing. I'm humming while I'm cooking. So they see me and they come there and they start talking. Right? So it's very important for us to regulate our own emotion and take help from experts. Take help from experts. Whoever you think is a safe space for you, go and speak to them. Okay, now let's understand how to shift labeling from acknowledging. You are lazy. I can see you are struggling to start the task. You are so careless. You missed some details. Let's slow down and check together. You never focus. Focusing seems difficult right now. What can help you? Right? These are the few examples we can shift. It's just the language we need to shift. And after doing NLP certification and training, I have understood how much the words are helping us. Words are very important. Labeling attacks identity and acknowledging supports growth. When my son is coming and talking to me about his exam or about his sports, when I'm acknowledging, he feels seen and heard. I'm acknowledging, yes, I'm listening to you, I'm here with you. I can see, I can have that feeling of your emotions, right? Right, parents? Focus on behavior, not their identity. So when you see your child's toy is on the floor, you are messy, because this is happening with ADHD children a lot. They are very much messy, very much messy. And why this is happening? Why this is happening? Because they are struggling with this sensory processing problem. They are still developing and they might take a lot of time to process those information. Where should I keep things properly? And they have hard time in understanding the depth of timing. Depth of timing also. They're struggling with that. That's why they procrastinate. And we say you are procrastinating a lot. Even adults. Some people are asking me, okay, I'm still in the developmental delays mode or what? I'm still procrastinating. Yes? Maybe you need some extra practice. Maybe you are in that zone, but you need some extra practice to take care of yourself. Keeping time in mind. So we need to praise the effort, as I said. Praise their effort, whatever they're doing. Praise their hard work. Praise what they are learning and they're sharing their moment. Just acknowledge that. Okay? Acknowledge what they did. When my son does something, when my daughter is doing something for me, I acknowledge that so that they can get that idea, because this is the right work, I need to continue doing this, and I need to stop doing some things which is not right. They need to have that idea. You are as a guide and you are helping them to understand the world. This is how you can help them understand the world, right? Encouragement builds resilience and growth mindset. This is how we can encourage them. Instead of just labeling and tagging them, we need to focus on encouraging them. Encouraging in their work, encouraging in their actions. Right? As I said, they are coming and trying and seeing whether I'm right or wrong. Describe what you see doing that. They doing, right? Give them information they can use to grow. Okay, I see you shared your toy with your friends. My son comes and tells me that my friend ate all my tiffin. How should I respond to this? Okay, my son is hungry. My son is hungry. I ask him. I tell him what I ask him. And then what you did? Then what you did? That question makes him answer something else. How can you be with your friend so that you can also eat some of your tiffin? How can you talk to your friend so that you can also eat some of your tiffin? Right? It makes me happy to see you trying something new. My daughter is always trying something new in her creativity. She's always doing something or the other. Right? So I want to acknowledge her for that. And too much of acknowledge is also going to make them praise dependent, or, what would say, reinforcement dependent. They will be dependent on that reinforcement. All the time they will be needing that validation. Not all the time. Right? We need to maintain that balance. Acknowledging is must. You need to acknowledge, and it's not just, oh, you have to just go and tell them all the time. You just need to acknowledge it in your heart also, that she is trying so many new things. When you are regulating her or his action, then you can, when it's time to respond, you can respond properly, because this is building them, building their confidence, building their self-esteem, building their personality for their life. It's helping them, right? Now, this is the activity for all of you. Think of a label you have used for your child recently. Label or tagging you have used for your child recently. And I want all of you to write it down. If not in the chat box, write it down for yourself in a piece of paper, in a mobile phone, anywhere, and see how can you describe that behavior without even labeling. After knowing so many things, how can you describe that behavior? A naughty child, a messy child, a sporty child, a good child, an ADHD child, right? There are so many types of children. So how can you respond to your child's behavior without even labeling them? Just ask yourself this question, because this is the point for you to grow and learn. And share, not with your neighbor, with your friends also. You can share it with your good neighbors if they are there. Okay? Now, we are seeding themselves so that they can grow as a tree when they are grown up. And why we are doing this? If we have this intention that we want to raise a confident and resilient children, we need to understand what are the seeds we are sowing right now. Let's use the words which is offering confidence in them. Your child is more than a label, right? Your child is more than a label. You need to understand you are helping them create this foundation stone, and they are going to take these examples even subconsciously, consciously and subconsciously throughout their life, right? Yes, we do that. We call them aggressive. We call them a lot of names which we are not supposed to. But we need to come in the conscious mind and help ourselves understand. Somebody muted me. Was I muted for a long time? No? Okay.
No.
Yes? Okay. No worries. So ask yourself what you want to seed today so that you can have a confident, resilient child. Because in this current era, when we are analyzing what's going to happen in next 10 years, we get confused, we get anxious, and we shut down. So we need to understand how we are going to shape our children, how we are going to help them in growing and facing this world, because they are yet to face the world. After class 12, they are going to see the world, they are going to face the world on their own, right? So over here I'm complete with my slides, but I'm here to answer your question. Is there any question in the chat box? Thank you, Vaishali, thank you for responding. I was unable to read all the chats.
There were no questions, Filza.
There's no question. Anyone, any question? If you have any question, you can ask. Yes. Thank you for everyone for responding in the chat, and thank you for being here. Thank you, Divakar sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mubashira. Thank you so much.
Robika raised her hand.
Okay. Yes, Robika.
Yeah, hi, Filza. I just have a small question. Like we are talking about, not labeling the children.
Okay.
What if, the labeling has been done? How can the damage be undone?
That's a very good question, Robika. That when we have already labeled our children, we think that it's for lifelong, right? So if you are acknowledging it right now, this is your opportunity to shift your belief, and then you can work on it, right? What has been done, we cannot go and undo that. But yes, we will be having a lot of opportunities going forward to shift that belief. Even I was doing a lot of wrong things with my children, but if I will hold that feeling inside me, that will drag me into the guilt and I will shut down, which I don't want. I need to see the upcoming opportunities so that I can help my child. Based on your child's age and stage, dealing with some neurodivergent children, I always say not only age but also stage. At what stage your child is, you can create some extra opportunity for your child so that they can learn from there. Right? And you can help them understand and grow. Right? I hope I answered the question. I saw one question in the chat box also.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, how can we acknowledge a disobey child? Wow, this is a very good question, Sophia. If your child is disobeying you, is disconnected. The child is disconnected from you. This is a mirror. I'm not showing you a mirror. I'm trying to be your mirror. Being and showing, it's a complete different thing. We always prefer showing the mirror, but I want to be your mirror. Like if your child is disconnected, what's happening? Your child is not listening is the first stage. It's the first stage. If your child is not obeying you, not listening to you, it's the first stage, giving the message, I can't hear you, I'm a selective listener. Many parents are taking their children to ENT doctor. Check my child's ear. You show them chocolate, they'll just hear the wrapper's sound and they'll run to you. They can listen everything, they can hear everything. But they don't want to hear you because a lot of commanding is coming. Lot of correction is coming. Check yourself where you are overcorrecting and over-directing your child, that your child is shutting down and deciding to select and deselect your voice. If your child, this is the alarm parents, if your child is deselecting your voice, is selecting someone else's voice. And who's that? Who's that? Children who are addicted to screen, children who are addicted to social media are listening to those voices and deselecting your voice. Start connecting with your children. And you are already connected to your child. Let me tell you, a conscious connection and a reflective connection is different. A child is always connected to their parents, but that is a connection of dependency. I always talk about conscious connection where your child is choosing you. No therapy is going to work if your child is not connected to you, is choosing you. Okay? Forcefully making your child do something, even any training for early childhood or later childhood, or even if they are adult, it's not going to work. I hope I answered the question. How do we make sure that we are using our words mindfully? I mean all the time. One thing which worked for me is regulating my own emotion, following my passion and dreams. Right? It helped me stay conscious. It helped me always stay conscious. And when I am filling my cup, I'm minding my words. When I am not filling my cup, I'm not minding my words because I'm already grown up. I'm already hardwired. Sometimes I also react. I'm also a human being. I don't give myself hard time. I can also be 100% wrong or sometime. Right? Give yourself grace for asking this beautiful question. This is showing your intention that you want to be correct for your child. May you get what you want in your life. How can we change the mindset of exam related tags? Yes, I've started that and I am a stand for this. Being a stand for it, like I'm imagining a world full of people without any comparison. Nobody is sharing anyone's marks. Imagine nobody is sharing a board, the paper, exam paper, the result paper is not being hanged outside the classroom, the test exam sheets. Government is not announcing it on internet, directly emailing you. No comparison. I'm just being that stand. When my children bring their result, when I go to PTM, I close the result. I don't discuss that. I see it not in front of my child. I don't come and discuss it at my home. We are the society. I am the society, and I can be that seed. If I want, I can be that stand. With that intention, I have started this since my children started school. And now what is happening, something very beautiful is happening in my family and amongst my friends. My brother is not sharing his daughter's marks, my sister is not sharing her son's marks, and they are not asking me also. So this is completely normal at my environment. Nobody is even calling me, "Oh, how much marks did your son get in boards?" Because that's very much normal in our society. Nobody, not a single phone call came. Okay, and thank you for asking this question. Again, this is showing your intention. May you get what you want in your life, which leads to disconnection with those whom we speak to, your near and dear ones. Yes.
I think we are running out of time.
Yes.
Just 3 minutes, I guess. And I would request everyone to please go for Google. Please go and review Filza on Google review. Check her Instagram post, and she has given here some handouts. So do download, copy it. Please download it. Keep it for yourself. It's going to help you going forward. I think no more questions here.
Yes, no more questions here. Thank you, Neeta. Thank you, Vaishali. Thank you, Polami. Thank you, Manish sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
just
Sorry.
now we are going to have our program Guftagu at 6 p.m. Do join that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Filza, for this insightful session. I'm sure going forward, everyone present here will definitely be mindful of tagging not only their children, but also everyone else, their friends, relatives, neighbors, whoever.
Thank you.
So
Thank
the evening has just started. Stay with us for two incredible back-to-back sessions. Up next at 6 p.m., we dive into Guftagu to address a critical topic: poison in a puff, uncovering the hidden realities of smoking and vaping. And on the panel, pouring all the knowledge and experience are none other than our favorite Manish sir, Sandhya Lal, and Sumit Bansal. And then at 7, we switch gears with Teach Grow to learn the essential keys to respect, safety, and boundaries for all. So don't go anywhere. I don't think you would want to miss both these sessions. Stay tuned, and a very good evening to you all.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for
Bye-bye.
being here. Thank you for all your chats. Thank you, Neeta, Vaishali, once again. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kaneez.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lydia.